ache.
Alright guys, welcome back to another MLB The Show 18 franchise mode. It is the playoffs. We are going today against the Houston Astros. It is the start of the 5-game series we're breaking out today in Houston. It's going to be Dallas Keuchel versus Lucas Giolito. Game 2 is going to show Lance McCullers Jr. versus Carlos Rodon. Game 3 is Garrett Cole versus Michael Kopech. And Game 4 is undecided for at least them. If it gets to Game 4, we're going to have Dane Dunning out on the mound. We'll see if we're in elimination. We might use Lucas Giolito. We'll see how things are. But otherwise, guys, let's go ahead and start the first game of the ALDS, Chicago White Sox, Houston Astros. Welcome, everybody, to Houston, Texas. Today, we're at Minute Maid Park. It is Game 1 of the 2018 American League Division Series. It is the Chicago White Sox versus the best team in the American League, the Houston Astros. It's going to be a fantastic game. It really is. As you guys can see, a beautiful stadium in which the Chicago White Sox won their last World Championship in 2005. They got the train up there. You can see the city. They got the dome open. It's going to be a fantastic game. We look at the team info. First in the AL Central, first in the AL West. Josh Bell had a better average than Carlos Correa, their best batting average guy. You guys can go back and look at that. We're going to have our ace, Lucas Giolito, out on the mound for Game 1. They're going to bring out Dallas Keuchel. You're not seeing Justin Verlander. You're not seeing Garrett Cole for Game 1. You're seeing Dallas Keuchel. So we are excited for the first pitch of the ALDS, the playoffs for the Chicago White Sox, as the Houston Astros get announced. As you can see, Yohan Moncada right there, Matt Davidson. Matt Davidson is trying to convert his stellar regular season into the playoffs, as they are singing the national anthem. We are almost ready to start the playoffs. It is postseason, Major League Baseball, as Ricky Renteria exceeded its expectations, getting his club into the playoffs. A team that was under 500 at the All-Star game. As you guys can see, our starting lineup: Gordon, Anderson, Bell, Davidson, Moncada, Jimenez, Engel, Delmonico, and Navarez is going to be our starting catcher in these playoffs. As of now, you can see Dallas Keuchel's regular season numbers: 15-8, a 2.83 ERA. His innings are pretty high, 266. The hits are low. The strikeouts are a little bit low for Dallas Keuchel, but otherwise he's a fantastic pitcher, and it's going to be a tough at bat for each and every one of our players in this first game of the playoffs. And as always, guys, we're going to show you the first at bat on both sides. And D. Gordon is going to get that call right here. It is the first at bat of the playoffs for the Chicago White Sox. And it's going to be strike one, an 89-mile-per-hour two-seam fastball. The fans are going nuts here in Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, as D. Gordon tries to get the White Sox off to a hot start. Here comes the second pitch. And that's going to be a pop-out. It looks like it's going to be a pop-out to center field. And it is going to be for out number 1. Alright, guys, it is time for us to take the field with Lucas Giolito on the mound. You guys take a look at the Houston Astros starting lineup. A star-studded with Bregman, Altuve, Correa, Springer. Those 4 in a row alone are going to be 4 tough outs. But we have our ace up on their mound. Lucas Giolito, 16-9, a 3.17 ERA, 200 strikeouts, and 207 innings pitched. This is the guy we want out for Game 1 to give us the very best chance we can to win Game 1 and start us in the right directions in this postseason, as he is finishing his warm-up pitches before he gets his first taste of Major League Baseball postseason. You can see Matt Davidson in the hot corner at third base, the 2017 Gold Glove winner. It is going to be a fantastic game, guys, with Josh Reddick up to the plate for the first at bat for the Astros, trying to retain their World Series championship. And it is going to be a single for the very first pitch of the game for the Astros. And they get off nice and hot, and they get a first pitch, first hit in Game 1 of the ALDS. So Matt Davidson comes up to the plate for his first at-bat in this postseason. One thing I'm noticing, guys, is that with the postseason, they are putting in a bunch of different kind of camera angles, different kind of camera effects in and whatnot, which is really exciting. And I know every time I've hit a home run, they haven't really, well, they have, but not as much. They haven't showed the new home run camera angles, but I'm thinking here in the postseason, if we are able to hit a home run, we might be able to see one of those. And no one better than Matt Davidson on the club to hit a home run. Lucas Giolito gave up the first hit of the game. The next pitch, Josh Reddick was actually thrown out stealing. And that is going to get through for the very first base hit of the game for the Chicago White Sox. So now the White Sox are on the board with a hit. They got the first guy in the inning on base. And nobody out. And Yohan Moncada's coming up to the plate with the runner on first. Alright, it is the bottom of the second inning. George Springer is up to bat against Lucas Giolito. It is a 0-0 game so far to the first inning and a half of play, as that is going to be ball one to George Springer. Lucas Giolito did surrender a walk to Jose Altuve, 4 straight pitches, and that's going to be a circle change for a strike. However, it floated right down the middle. George Springer probably not happy with himself taking that pitch, as Lucas Giolito left a mistake right over the center of the plate. And that is going to be hit to Davidson. He's going to hurry up and he throws it to first, and that is going to be the very first out of the inning for Lucas Giolito. Alright, now up to bat, guys, is Tim Anderson. He flew out in the first inning. He's got D. Gordon on first, who is looking to steal possibly on the second pitch. I think Tim Anderson's going to take the pitch no matter where it's at, as it's going to be strike one, as it was a sidestep throw by Dallas Keuchel, as Ricky Renteria and third base coach are giving the steal sign to Tim Anderson, who's going to drive it to left for a single and put a runner on first and second with 2 outs in the top of the third inning, bringing up Josh Bell. He struck out in the first inning, full count, and he took a strike. It was a questionable call, but he did strike out looking, but he's got a chance to redeem himself here, as he's got 2 guys on base with 2 outs in the top of the third inning in a scoreless game so far, as that is going to be ball one from Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel has been throwing a lot of balls to start. Yes, here comes the second pitch, as that's going to be a strike. 1-1 the count. He evens up the count. Dallas Keuchel throwing a lot of first pitch balls, not showing his best command, as that changeup bloops in, making the count 1-2 on Josh Bell. Josh Bell does not want to strike out for a second time. He wants to move the runners in. And it looks like the runners are going to be in motion on this play. As they go to throw it back to second, D. Gordon will get back, as the runners are still going to be in motion on this pitch, as they're going to drive it the other way. But unfortunately, Josh Reddick is going to catch the ball, bringing the end to the inning. 0-3-0 for the White Sox, 0-1-0 for the Astros, as the Astros come up to bat. Alright, guys, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Alex Bregman is up to bat for the Houston Astros. He's got a runner on first, and still a tied and scoreless Game 1 of the ALDS, as he takes strike one, a 97-mile-per-hour fastball from Lucas Giolito. As you take another look at the pitch, hits his spot perfectly, 97 miles per hour. Lucas Giolito has not given up a run yet. However, that is going to be another hit, the third of the game for the Houston Astros, as they put a runner on first and second with still 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. As you take a look, Alex Bregman puts one through the hole in the infield for a single to right field. Getting just past Yoan Moncada and bringing up the big boys in Jose Altuve. First pitch is going to be a ball 1. As you can see, his regular season stats, .290 batting average, pretty good for just about any player. Jose Altuve standards, though, a little bit lower than he would have liked, as that is going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1. 42 pitches through 2 2/3 innings pitched so far for Lucas Giolito. Hoping to get out of this inning with one more pitch. Hoping that his pitch count will not go any higher than it already is. As that is going to be strike 3. He strikes out Jose Altuve to end the inning. Alright, Adam Engel comes up to bat. He's 0-1 to start his postseason career. It's the top of the 5th inning. Still a tied, scoreless ball game as Dallas Keuchel throws again another first pitch ball pretty far away from the strike zone to Adam Engel. His pitch count sits at 44 pitches. As Adam Engel is going to hit a little blooper. Will it fall in? It will not. It is going to be a little pop out to first baseman Yuli Gurriel for out number 1 of the top of the 5th inning. Alright guys, Yoan Moncada is up to the plate. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. He's got a guy on second base and Josh Bell, who ripped a double to the gap in right center field, and Yoan Moncada trying to bring in the first run of the game. However, unfortunately, that is going to rip foul. 2 outs, so he doesn't have much air to play with. As here comes the second pitch from Dallas Keuchel, and that one is going to be ripped as it's going far back. Will it get out? Unfortunately, no, it will not. It gets to the edge of the warning track, but that is going to end the inning. Still scoreless in the heart of Texas. Carlos Correa is coming up to the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2 in what is now a 1-0 game in favor of the Houston Astros. Alex Bregman took Lucas Giolito deep to left field. A solo home run as the game has been broken as a 0-0 game, as Houston has a 1-0 lead. And Carlos Correa is up to bat with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning, as that's going to be fouled off the fence of the visiting dugout. Lucas Giolito has Carlos Correa and the next batter to face, and that is his maximum workload for today's game. Rob Shahil is warming up in the bullpen. He will only come in if he is needed to come in the 6th inning. Otherwise, someone else will be coming in the 7th inning. As that is going to be strike 3 on Carlos Correa. We're going to go ahead and show you guys the next at bat. Lucas Giolito's final batter to face in Game 1 of the ALDS, regardless of outcome. As you can see, that drop in that curveball fooled Carlos Correa, and he struck out. And now he is facing George Springer, trying to get the last out of the inning and trying to keep it as a 1-0 game. As that is going to be a pop out at 90 pitches for Lucas Giolito to Tim Anderson, and that is going to end the inning. It is now 1-0 Houston Astros on this Alex Bregman home run to left field. Alright guys, Tim Anderson is back up to at bat. He's 1 for 3 in the top of the 8th inning. We're still down 1-0 with 2 outs, as the White Sox's chances of coming back in this game are getting slimmer and slimmer as the outs continue to reduce. But Tim Anderson is going to put one into right field. That is going to be only a single, as we're going to show you, go ahead and show you Josh Bell's at bat as well, as Tim Anderson is going to attempt to steal on the second pitch of the at bat. Hopefully Dallas Keuchel doesn't do a pitch out. Hopefully he doesn't do a quick pitch. but hopefully Tim Anderson can get into scoring position, as the White Sox need to manufacture some runs right now. As here comes the first pitch, it's going to be ball one, a slider just into the dirt for ball one to Josh Bell. Tim Anderson on first, getting the signal right now, telling him that he is going to be stealing on this pitch. Josh Bell is free to hit if it is a strike. And here comes the pitch, and it is a strike. And that might, no it will not, unfortunately will not get Tim Anderson in. It puts a runner on first and third for the White Sox, with Matt Davidson coming up to the plate. And we'll go ahead and show you guys Matt Davidson's at bat as well. We have a runner on first and third, 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning, down by a run. Matt Davidson up to bat, as he's going to foul that one off. He's 1 for 3 so far in the game, a single in the 2nd inning, as you guys can see there. Looking to get some RBIs in, at least 1, if not more. Here comes the pitch, and that is going to be way outside, but Matt Davidson's going to swing at it anyways, making the count 0-2. He's got to make sure that his plate discipline is solid here. And unfortunately, Matt Davidson strikes out. Dallas Keuchel gets another strikeout to get him through the jam. And he takes his team into the bottom of the 8th inning with a 1-0 lead after a 3-pitch strikeout on Matt Davidson. All right, guys, Dallas Keuchel is being taken out of the game in the top of the 9th inning with 1 out, 1 runner on. Dallas Keuchel, who was dominant in this performance in the game 1 of the ALDS, as he gives the fans a little bit of a salute. The fans go nuts for Dallas Keuchel, who's being taken out of the game, and in comes Chris Davinsky. 3-4, a 2.75 ERA through the regular season, 70 strikeouts in 68 2/3 innings. Eloy Jimenez got hit on that play, so we're going to look to possibly pitch run. We could. Let's take a quick look at his running stats. He's got 46 speed, 47 stealing. We're not going to steal. So the only option here is Leury Garcia, 70 speed. I feel like it's the right decision to do. We're going to bring in Leury Garcia to pitch run at first base, but we will not be stealing. It's too... Right now we need to make sure that we get a runner in scoring position through hits, not getting thrown out. So Adam Engel is up to bat, 1 out, guys. Top of the 9th inning. The last thing we want to do is ground into a double play, as the first pitch is another questionable call that goes in favor of the Astros this time. Strike 1 to Adam Engel. As you can see, his career number is 1 for 3 with a strikeout. As Leury Garcia is on first base, I apologize. Adam Engel to the plate. And here comes the second pitch. And that is going to get over the head. That is going to get over the head of the left fielder. It is not going to be enough to get him home, but it is 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out. In the top of the 9th inning, the force play has been eliminated, as that got over the head of Alex Bregman, who was playing short. He was playing the bunt. 1 out. A huge play by Adam Engel. As you can see, slowed down, getting the solid sweet spot of the bat. And here is Omar Narvaez, the White Sox, looking to capitalize, as that is going to be a surprising pitch out. With runners on 2nd and 3rd, they are pitching out. Oh, I apologize. It is not Omar Narvaez. It is Nicky Delmonico. That is my fault. Nicky Delmonico is up to the plate, hopefully looking for a sac fly. Never mind. They are giving him the intentional walk. They are going to load the bases. Nicky Delmonico gets another 3 pitches, and they load up the bases. They put the force play on. Leury Garcia and the White Sox, I think they have a plan up their sleeve. I think they do. I don't think they're going to be swinging at this first pitch. As we see, that is going to be ball 1. It looks from the bench the White Sox are getting a signal. I'm not really sure what the White Sox are planning here. as they're going to do a suicide squeeze to tie up the game, and it is successful. It is 1-1. Omar Narvaez ties up the game, and at the same time, runners on second and third with 2 outs. D. Gordon up to the plate. The White Sox have tied up the game, and they still have the opportunity to take the lead here in the top of the 9th inning. A successful suicide squeeze to bring in the tying run of the game, while also eliminating the force play and giving D. Gordon a huge opportunity to take the lead. The first pitch. And that is going to drop. That is going to drop. D. Gordon does not go to second, but the White Sox take the lead. It is 3-1. A huge at bat by D. Gordon. Gonzalez in left field was unable to bring in the ball to get the third out, and D. Gordon gets on. I don't know if they're going to rule this an error or a hit. It was a tough play, as you guys can see here. Unable to make the catch. A costly mistake for Gonzalez, as the White Sox now have the lead. And George Springer is up to the plate. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jake McGee is in. He has recorded the first 2 outs at the bottom of the 9th, trying to close out the game. And it is strike 1 to George Springer in what has been truly a remarkable game. Game 1 of the ALDS for the Chicago White Sox. Trying to close a fantastic game. A complete comeback, as that is going to be strike 2 to George Springer. Unable to pull the trigger. It looks like he's going high with a fastball. And it is just off the corner. It is going to be ball 1-2 to George Springer. McGee trying to get his first save of the playoffs. And here comes the pitch. And that, no! That he looks up, and that is going to be a home run for George Springer. It is now 3-2. And as their sign is showing, it's not over yet. It's 3-2. We still have that one insurance run, but it is tight now. It's even more tighter than it was. 3-2, George Springer showing that he can still be that playoff hero he was last season for the world champion Houston Astros. As you can see, a 364-foot home run into left field. The second home run of the game for the Astros. Thankfully for the White Sox, no one was on base, and we still have the lead with 2 outs. But it has become a whole different feeling kind of ball game, as that is going to be strike 1 to Yuri Gurriel, who's 0 for 2. He got a walk in the 4th inning, and he watches strike 1. And that is going to be strike 2, as again, unable to pull the trigger. And once again, the Astros are down to their final strike of game 1. Let's see where he goes, McGee. And it's going to be a pop-up. It is going to be pop-up, and when this ball comes down, this ball game is over, as White Sox take game 1 of the ALDS against the Houston Astros. A 3-run top of the 9th inning for the Chicago White Sox. Fantastic game. And again, guys, you see that play by Gonzalez in left field cost them the game. If he gets down in front of it, knocks it down, that is a tied game, or the game's just over with that home run by George Springer. But baseball's going to be baseball. It is a human nature game. White Sox take game 1 of the ALDS. Welcome everybody to Game 2 of the American League Division Series. We're back here again, Minute Maid Park, Houston, Texas. The White Sox have a 1-0 lead over the Houston Astros. So quick recap. I know this is just being edited, so immediately after. But the Chicago White Sox were down 1-0. Top of the 9th with 1 out. They get a runner on. They get a second hit. It's 1st and 3rd. They intentionally, or I apologize. We ended up getting a suicide squeeze, and we ended up tying the game. It was second and third. A drop ball in left field. 2 runs come in. The White Sox give up a run in the bottom of the ninth, and we ended up winning 3-2. So today, Carlos Rodon is on the mound. He's going against Lance McCullers Jr. It's going to be another fantastic game. It's the White Sox, who are a young and promising team, going against veterans that just won the World Series with a super deep pitching rotation. Against the White Sox, who they have a solid 1 and 2. The 3 and 4 are not really super established pitchers. So these first 2 games are extremely important for the Chicago White Sox. As the Houston Astros come out to take the field, it's going to be another exciting game. Like I said again, you're seeing the future of the Chicago White Sox already here in the postseason. 12-6 and 12-6, both guys had mid ERA in the 3s. The Ks per 9 inning, Lance McCullers has the edge on that statistic. Ricky Renteria managing last game. Very excited with the win from the last game. Obviously, the starting lineup is the same as the previous game. It doesn't really matter about the averages. It was just a single game. But it is going to be an exciting game as Lance McCullers finishes off his starting pitches. And as always, guys, we're going to show you the first at-bat for the Chicago White Sox. Dee Gordon versus Lance McCullers Jr. Dee Gordon, who is trying to get a solid game in, is going to swing a little bit late. And that's going to go through the netting, apparently, and be strike 1, a foul ball. Lance McCullers Jr. was a hero for the Houston Astros last season in their World Series championship run, as he's trying to be again this season. 72 degrees, clear skies, 4-mile-per-hour winds blowing out to center field. So not very much wind, but it is blowing out today. So for guys like Josh Bell and Matt Davidson, that is good news, as it is going to be a soft little ground ball to first base for out number 1. And the game has officially begun. We have the first out. It is time to play some baseball, guys. Alright, guys, we take another look at the Houston Astros starting lineup. J.D. Davis is in as the DH for today's game. Otherwise, not much movement or changes in the starting lineup for the Houston Astros. As you guys can again see, 180 strikeouts and 185 2/3 innings for Carlos Rodon. Our number 2, we have a solid 1-2 punch. Carlos Rodon out there today trying to get us a 2-0 lead in the ALDS. And again, gonna go up against Josh Reddick, the first batter of the game, hoping not to give up a first pitch, first hit to Reddick, as it is lefty-lefty, so Carlos Rodon does have the advantage as he takes strike 1 to begin the at-bat. Carlos Rodon, who stayed healthy throughout the entire season, a huge accomplishment for him, is a guy that can never really seem to stay healthy, as Josh Reddick makes an embarrassing swing there, swinging at something that he should not have, as the count is now 0-2. And Carlos Rodon does own a devastating slider that he can use to get out lefties and righties, as that is going to find a hole. Nicky Delmonico is going to get it in. It's going to be a double for Josh Reddick, who starts off the game for the Astros with a runner in scoring position. Nicky Delmonico is now up for the Chicago White Sox. It is a runner on first, nobody out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Adam Engel not looking to steal, but if he gets the sign, he will. As Delmonico rips one down the line, but it's just foul. A late signal, I must add, by the first base umpire. At first I didn't really know if it was fair or foul, but it is a foul ball. And that is going to be ball 1. Lance McCullers Jr. has had a solid game so far. His control has been much better than Dallas Keuchel was during the first game, and Dallas Keuchel was still lights out. So Nicky Delmonico is 1-1. The count is even, as he's going to take that one. It is not going to be good enough for a double play, He is unfortunately going to be thrown out at first, but he's going to move the runner over to second. A nice job by Nicky Delmonico. J.D. Davis is up to the plate for the Houston Astros with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Carlos Rodon is cruising with a handful of strikeouts, 25 pitches so far. His slider has been his most effective pitch, as he does unfortunately drop that one right down the middle. But it does not come back to haunt him. An absence of a heavy amount of lefties in the lineup, but still Carlos Rodon is effectively using his slider both in and out, away from the batters. As that is, wow, a ball. That was a questionable call, as Carlos Rodon does not like that call at all. Barking back at the umpire. A ball that got majority of the plate. He is not happy about that call. A huge difference between 2-1 and 1-2. He is not happy with that call, as that is another questionable call on the corner, and now it's 3-1. Questionable calls, as that ball had majority of the plate, and it's now 3-1. And that is going to be hit off the wall, as Nicky Delmonico is unable to read it correctly, as he's going to get it in. A huge, that mistake of the calling of balls and strikes is huge right there. And instead of a strikeout, there's now a runner on second base. As you guys can see, thankfully it was not a home run. It hit the top of the wall. Nicky Delmonico unable to read it correctly. Adam Engel thankfully running over, getting it to Tim Anderson, the cutoff man, with the runner in second now with 1 out. Bases loaded to Carlos Correa. It is 1-0. It's a 1-0 count so far. Carlos Rodon trying to get out of the situation. It is now 2-0. It is now 2-0, as we're going to call for a mound visit. Ricky Renteria needs to calm down Carlos Rodon, who's still extremely upset about that. The 2 calls that put a runner now on third base. Trying to calm him down, letting him know he needs to throw strikes. He needs to get his team out of this situation. As Carlos Correa is going to follow that one off, making the count 2-1. Carlos Rodon trying to get out of the inning, keeping it scoreless. And he's going to make it now 2-2. Count is even. Carlos Rodon looking for the strikeout. And he will get a ground out. Throws it to first. And no runs come across. Game stays tied 0-0. We go to the top of the 4th. 0-3-0 for the Astros. 0-1-0 for the White Sox. Josh Bell steps up to the plate with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. He's 0 for 1 so far in today's game. It is righty v lefty here, as Bell is a switch hitter. And that is going to be a first pitch. Ground out to Jose Altuve for the 2nd out of the inning. Josh Reddick back up to bat, 2 for 2, and he's got a guy on first and second, bottom of the 4th, as the Astros have taken the lead. Carlos Rodon is having some control issues at the moment, trying to get out of the inning with just giving up a single run, trying to let his offense try to get some runs across to give him some support, as the White Sox have only scored runs so far. Through the first 13 innings of gameplay in the series, they've only scored 3 times, and that was all in the 9th inning of Game 1. They're trying to get some run support for the pitcher, but dominant pitching by the Houston Astros is shutting them out right now, as that is going to end the inning. Carlos Rodon's only going to give up a single run, and hopefully he's able to bounce back in the next inning, as Jimenez, Engel, and Delmonico come up to bat. Omar Narvaez comes up to the plate, 0 for 1 with 1 out in the top of the 5th. He's got a runner on first and second. Hopefully trying to knock ground into a double play and get some runs across for the Chicago White Sox, as that is going to be hit. It's not going to be a double play. Thankfully, he's going to move the runners over, but unfortunately, there's 2 outs now. But the lineup flips over. D. Gordon up to bat. He's 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs. And he has not have been the most effective player defensively either. And hopefully he can pick his team up here. As that is going to be a first pitch, and it's going to be 3 groundouts for D. Gordon. As 2 guys get stranded on second and third base, we go to the the bottom of the 5th inning. Houston Astros up to bat. All right, guys, Yuli Gurriel up to bat. This is going to be Carlos Rodon's last batter he's going to face, regardless of the situation. There's 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Still a 1-0 game for the Houston Astros. The White Sox bats, they're getting a few base hits, but they're doing nothing with it, stranding some base runners. The bats need to wake up. The big guys need to wake up, as that's going to be ball 2, a slider missing high. As Dylan Cease is warming up in the bullpen. If he needs to come in this inning, he will. Otherwise, it's going to look a lot like the last game with Infante in the 7th, and we'll move on from there. Carlos Rodon trying to get this final out. And the pitch. And it's going to be a pop-up right to Rodon. Unfortunately, no one's taking command, and Carlos Rodon will take the ball as he's fielding it on the pitcher's mound. Bad communications amongst the White Sox fielders. But Makata, the 5th, 6th, and 7th batter, will come up to bat in the top of the 7th inning. This ball is hit way back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes, a 445-foot home run. Yoan Moncada to lead off the top of the 7th inning. We didn't hit the record button just yet, but we got it. You'll get to see the replay and everything. Yoan Moncada getting his bat out there and making the game tied 1-1. A huge morale booster for the entire team, and Yoan Moncada himself, a moonshot all the way up to the 2nd deck. You can see how high that thing gets. It almost hits the roof. A 445-foot home run hitting the top of the 2nd deck. And now Eloy Jimenez is up to bat, trying to build off the momentum that Yoan Moncada is laying out, and that's going to be a liner right to Alex Bregman for out number 1. Astros making a surprising move here as they take out Lance McCullers Jr., who had only thrown about 50 pitches, and they're bringing in Buddy Boshers, 6-5, a 4.09 ERA, 54 strikeouts and 70 in the 3rd innings pitched. A surprising move on behalf of the Houston Astros coaching staff, as that is going to be strike 1, a changeup on the outer half of the plate. 0 for 2 is Nicky Delmonico, trying to move another run over as he's stealing, and it's going to cancel out the double play. Thankfully for the White Sox, that steal was a good move. But now 2 outs, runner on second. Nicky Delmonico moves the runner over once again. Alex Bregman is up to the plate, 0 for 3 for tonight. Bottom of the 7th, runner on second, as Gregor Infante is trying to close out the inning. It is going to be a foul ball, 0-1 for Gregor Infante, who was solid in game 1 in his inning pitched. And that ball is going to get away. No chance at third. It is going to be a swing and a miss. The count is going to move to 0-2. It has scored a wild pitch. As you can see here, Omar Narvaez unable to stay in front of it and knock it down effectively as it gets by. But 0-2, hoping to close out the inning with a strikeout. And that is going to be hit down the line. Hit down the line. It is going to be a foul ball, just barely. All the White Sox fans at home are biting their nails, as that was nearly a heartbreaker right there. Count remains 0-2. As the White Sox trying to get out of this inning without giving up a run. And again, right down the line, another foul ball. Count still remains at 0-2. Gregor Infante trying to close it out, and he will. Bregman chasing the high fastball. Gregor Infante gets out of the inning with that scare, and the score remains 1-1 going into the top of the 8th inning. So another bang-bang play at first. D. Gordon To me, he looks safe, and once again in the 8th inning, we are challenging a play. D. Gordon getting a very little bit of the ball, and ooh, it is a bang play. It looks as if the edge is going to go to first baseman Yuri Gurriel. It looks like he might be out. We're going to have to take another look at it, but we are going to challenge it in a 1-1 game. Leadoff runner, having D. Gordon on base is so huge, it's worth the challenge. So Ricky Renteria is letting the umpire know that they are going to challenge the call on the field, which is out, as we will see once again slowed down. Now this angle, it looks like he's safe. From this angle, he looks like he's safe, so it's going to be a tough call. They need absolute certainty to overturn a call, as we're about to find out, and he is safe. A successful challenge by the Chicago White Sox and Ricky Renteria, and now D. Gordon safe at first base, providing a ton of speed. Matt Davidson comes up to the plate, 2 outs, trying to get a run in to take the lead for the White Sox. D. Gordon on second base. First pitch, and that is going to be a foul ball, a sinker, fouled off. Again, D. Gordon at second base. The pitch. Oh, it's going to be high. He decided to swing at it anyways. He knew he shouldn't have, but he still did. And there goes the runner, and there is another strikeout from Matt Davidson, who has not had the success he's wanted in this postseason. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, tied game. Yuri Gurriel again back up, as Joakim Soria is trying to close out the 8th inning. 2 outs, 2 runners on, trying to make sure the White Sox aren't going into the top of the 9th, losing and down to their final at-bats possibly. As you can see, strike 1 to Yuri Gurriel, a changeup that caught the corner of the plate. It was ruled a base hit, but Tim Anderson, most likely it should have been an error. It was a double play ball, and neither out was recorded. So now runners on first and second, as that is a curveball that is called a ball, moving the count in favor of Yuri Gurriel. Count is 2-1. The pitch, and that is going to look like it might be the end of the inning. Tim Anderson to first base, and it is. We go to the top of the 9th inning. It's a 1-1 game. Don't go anywhere, guys. We got Makata, Jimenez, and Angle coming up. It's the top of the 9th. It's time for us to win this game. 2 outs, top of the 9th. Adam Angle, 3 for 3 with 3 singles, is up to bat. Trying to put a little electricity, pump it a little bit more into his bat, trying to get a long ball if he can. As that one is hit. It is hit deep. Will it go? It will not. On the warning track, about 405 feet, unable to bring in a run. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, tied at 1. Josh Reddick, who has been a thorn in the side of the Chicago White Sox, up to bat. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Rob Scahill is out there on the mound, trying to make sure that the Astros do not walk off here. As it's going to be strike 1 to Josh Reddick. You can see the beautiful stadium of Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. A beautiful stadium, most certainly because this is where the Chicago White Sox won the 2005 World Series Championship. And this is where they're trying to go ahead and start their route to their next World Series Championship. As the count moves to 0-2 on Josh Reddick, who has been a fantastic hitter so far this series with 2 strikes. And that is going to be strike 3, a strikeout for Scahill, and we're going to go to extra innings in Game 2 of the American League Division Series. 1-8-0 for the Chicago White Sox, 1-9-0 for the Houston Astros. This is a tight game. All right, guys, D. Gordon up to bat, first and second, no one out. As it's going to be ball 1 here. D. Gordon might try to go ahead and move the runners over, and with his speed he might be able to get on if it is a good enough of a bunt, and it is going to be a bunt down the line, but foul ball. Here comes the pitch. They're moving. He bunts. And it is not a good bunt as it is in the dirt. Now D. Gordon's going to have to swing away. Here comes the pitch. And that is down. That is going to score a run. It does score a run. And to third goes Nicky Delmonico. Or excuse me, Navarez. A huge hit by D. Gordon, making the score 2-1, nobody out. As you guys can see, he rips one right down the line. It's going to curl in, and it's going to be a single, and they're going to bring in another reliever, Joe Smith, 9-4, 2.33 ERA, as the Chicago White Sox have taken the lead in Game 2 of the ALDS. And to increase the score, Josh Bell, a 400-foot home run. 2 strikes with the runner moving. The White Sox take a commanding now 4-1 lead in the top of the 10th inning. The runner was moving, Tim Anderson was going, and Josh Bell hits a monster home run here to right field. We weren't recording it, but the second I knew it was gone, I had to start because I had to show you guys this replay. Josh Bell takes one 399 feet. As you can see, getting over the head of Josh Reddick. And that is a home run for Josh Bell and the Chicago White Sox, bringing Matt Davidson up to the plate. Hopefully he can follow suit and get off the stride and get a big hit for the Chicago White Sox as he takes strike 1 swinging. He's 1 for 4, but he's trying to get a big hit here in Game 2 of the ALDS. The second pitch is going to be low, 1-1, even up the count. It has been something with these White Sox coming back late in games, and hopefully Jake McGee will be able to close the door as Davidson is early on that swing. But hopefully Jake McGee can close the door on the Houston Astros and send the Chicago White Sox to Chicago with a possible series clincher at home. The pitch. Oh, that slider fooled Davidson, and he is going to strike out once again. But we move to the bottom of the 10th inning, guys. 4-12-0 for the White Sox, 1-9-0, and the heart of the Houston lineup coming up to bat. And Carlos Correa up to the plate. 2 outs, bottom of the 10th inning. Jake McGee striking out Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve, and looking to put down Carlos Correa the same exact way. Jake McGee coming in, becoming the Chicago White Sox closer in the middle of the season after a trade with Colorado, and has performed spectacular, as it is an 0-2 count to Carlos Correa. 2 outs, bottom of the 10th go, and that is a ball hit to the corner, and it is a foul ball, to say the least. Unable to catch it was D. Gordon, but still 2 strikes. And in the dirt, Carlos Correa does not take the bait. Count moves to 1-2. In what could possibly be the last game in Houston for the entire season for the Astros, Carlos Correa strikes out. He gone. And the Chicago White Sox take a 2-0 ALDS lead over the reigning World Series champions, and we are going to Chicago with the lead. A team that was under 500 at the All-Star break, was sellers at the trade deadline, wasn't expected to make the playoffs, now have the reigning World Series champions 1 game away from elimination. A fantastic job by the Chicago White Sox pitching staff in these last 2 games, keeping the Astros down to 3 runs through 19 innings. Fantastic. Jake McGee closing out both games, doing a fantastic job tonight, going 1-2-3, striking out the hardest batters of the Houston lineup. And the White Sox showing that they are serious, they have serious talent, and that they're not going to be reckoned with. Scahill's going to get the win for the White Sox. Hector Rodon takes the loss. 4-12-0 for the White Sox. 1-9-0 for the Houston Astros, and the White Sox are happy as they go back to Chicago with the lead. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this episode. It has been 2 fantastic, heart-beating games, really, with the White Sox coming back with no runs. Nothing happened in the entire first 8 innings of both games, really. And then the ending of the games being so high-pressured and whatnot. It has been a ton of fun. We're going to pick up next episode at home, trying to take the series against the reigning World Series champions with Michael Kopech out on the mound. Real quick before we end the episode, we'll take a look at the bracket. Yankees are up on Boston 2-0, so they have Boston at elimination. In the NL, Dodgers are up 2-1 against the Chicago Cubs, and the Washington Nationals are up 2-1 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, just showing you guys what's going on around the league in the playoffs as we are doing our thing and people are doing their things. So, thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will see you next episode.